Original Triskelion, before it gets all blowed up and stuff. Peggy Carter in old makeup, Hank Pym digitally de-aged. I know this catches some flack for Uncanny Valley, but even since Tron Legacy 5 years ago, this technique has come a long way. And you can never fault the MCU for tying into their universe and maintaining continuity. Little did Roger Sterling know he'd be dead in 2 short years. By heart attack. Wait, what is this? Right from Scott's intro, we get some expectation subversion. You know how I feel about directors playing with my expectations. Good. I feel good about it. Is this a cliche prison fight where we get to see some of our scrappy protagonist's fighting skills? Nope. This is just his prison exit interview.
Hey, how's your girl, man?
She left me.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom died too. And my dad got deported.
Lots of honesty.
But I got the van.
But still optimism. I'm sure this guy has done some great things and is very talented, but he'll always be that one goon that Batman saves from Harvey Dent's coin flip.
How's retirement?
How's your face?
That was a burn 26 years in the making. I'll be honest, the first look at this tiny dude from the archive footage was a little underwhelming, but it's absolutely by design. Almost a nod to the era of the comics that Hank Ant-Man did. I mean, mini guy shooting a 50 cal can only go over so well.
Tales to astonish.
Darren Cross must be a real comic nerd.
Was the Ant-Man real? Just a tall tale.
Get it? Because he's short.
I immediately started researching a particle that could change the distance between atoms.
I like that we open right on the Pym Particle. This MCU film does a number of things differently that are pretty refreshing considering how many origin stories we've sat through in the last decade, jumping right into the pseudoscience and winking at us a bit about it instead of a slow build up to something we already know is coming.
An Ant-Man.
Villains need promotional videos too. Evil promotional videos.
Surveillance, industrial sabotage,
Sure, we can steal stuff, slow down your competitors, or just straight murder dudes.
the elimination of obstructions on the road to peace.
But we'll of course talk about it as diplomatically as possible.
Imagine what our enemies could do with this tech.
You don't get it, Frank. We are the enemies. Do I need to run the video again, or...
Who?
I'm just gonna take this moment to say, good for you, Paul Rudd. You deserve every success, and no one could pull off Scott Lang or Ant-Man the way that you do. Judy Greer is always a win, no matter how much Hollywood continues to snub her.
Mommy's so happy you're here, she choked on her drink.
Last time we saw Judy Greer, I gave cutest astronomy lesson to young Casey from Tomorrowland. And although we're not learning anything from Cassie, she might be the cutest optimist around.
He's so ugly. I love him.
We can't just do whatever we want.
Well... Don't be crude, kids. But who needs the yellow jacket suit when you've got the... glop gun? Turn you to goo gun. It's a win for the MCU that Darren Cross is too self-involved and narrow-minded to develop this pile of goo gun. There it is, pile of goo gun, everyone. I'm not crazy, right? Nah, I'm good.
You deserve everything coming your way.
Subtlety. Depressing math lessons. Is this a montage? Sort of, but not really. They kind of invented a whole new exposition delivery system. And not just any exposition, extraneously hilarious exposition. So I guess, a heist tip montage is the fastest way to get visitation with your daughter. And then a prepping for the heist montage is the fastest way to become Ant-Man. I'm glad they threw that in there, because up until this little Assassin's Creed parkour showcase, I felt like the only thing keeping me from being Ant-Man was the Pym Particle and the suit. And Paul Rudd's rugged good looks. And sense of humor. But just those few things. Also, that's awesome. Ingenuity, level MacGyver. And surveillance.
I thought we were using mice.
What's the difference?
I know this is supposed to be an ooh, he's so evil moment because lambs are cute and mice are rodents? But does PETA care either way? Does it make him more evil to use a cute animal? And movies that make you think about PETA's opinions on mice are obviously a win. But somehow that stings more than Frank.
Sanitize the workstation, bring in subject 35 safe.
And this time make it a kitten because I'm not sure everyone got the picture. Yep, the use of macro lenses on real sets was the way to go. Most realistic and believable shrinking ever. And it totally makes me want to puke. But in a good way. And they hit a bunch of funny being tiny tropes in less than 3 minutes in some really entertaining ways. Garrett Morris, the original Ant-Man. Well, on Saturday Night Live at least. Ant censorship. Ant counting.
Get a camera on an ant? Yeah, sure, why not?
Accepting your reality. I don't really have anything to confirm this, but it seems like they really nailed the sound effects of tiny insects and rodents when you're miniature. I also can't say that I have any idea what it would be like to ride a flying ant, but this feels pretty accurate. Ant security.
I assume that you've already met my daughter, Hope.
I did. She's great.
Compliments. So, the VistaCorp job must have been right after Mike married Phoebe?
I learned how to change the distance between atoms.
The one line that created a whole bunch of armchair particle physicists questioning the relevancy of the square cube law, the weight displacement of tanks, and how a full-grown man could ride ants. I have 2 theories. The first is that even though Hank stumbled onto the Pym Particle, he doesn't really know the intricacies of how it works. It happens in scientific research occasionally, so it's plausible. This is just his best explanation of how it works, dumbed down for Scott. My second theory, and the one I like a bit more, is that Hank has no intention of ever explaining how the Pym Particle actually works to anyone. So he basically brushes Scott off with something he likely won't question. He kept the truth from Cross as long as he could, so why would he divulge any information at all to Scott, a thief he barely knows?
Are you trying to find my daddy?
Yeah, I am, sweetheart.
Hope you don't catch him.
Yes, sticking up for your dad.
I think our first move should be calling the Avengers.
Try and keep this technology out of the hands of a Stark. This could change the texture of reality.
Good enough reason as any not to involve the Avengers, especially given Tony Stark's need to steal everyone's secrets.
He's a criminal.
Please.
I'm your daughter.
No!
A little bit of that Hank Pym domestic abuse from the early Ant-Man comics we all love. I mean, tolerate. I mean, passively object to?
It's not about saving our world. It's about saving theirs.
One thing that Ant-Man does to set itself apart is introduce a second-generation superhero. And in so doing, they give Scott a mentor in Hank. A lot of origin stories are figuring it out on your own, while Scott actually has two teachers, including Hope.
You want to show me how to punch? Show me.
Though Hope uses more of a tough love method.
Paratrechina longicornis. Parapanera clavata. Camphanotus pennsylvanicus.
All kinds of myrmecology lessons. That's the study of ants. I had to look it up. And then spend 15 minutes trying to find the pronunciation. Worth it! Hey, that's Black Widow's move. I feel inclined to mention that most of Hope's outfits have been functional over being revealing. Pantsuits and normal workout clothes. I really think Hollywood is growing up. Oh. But hey, I wish I could get cast as a Marvel hero. Give me an excuse to finally get ripped. Chris Pratt, now Paul Rudd? Of all the magical-ish pseudoscience in this movie, I'm not sure about crazy ants, but there are species of fire ants that actually do work together like this. A failing to become Ant-Man training montage is the fastest way to get shown up by the new Wasp. Or is this a little Red Queen shadowing?
Hope! I mean, that's why I'm in the suit and you're not. You'd rather lose this fight than lose you.
Well, that better be the reason, because Kate was a better thief than you'll ever be, Scott.
And I spent the next 10 years trying to learn all I could about the quantum realm.
You were trying to bring her back.
Trying to bring your wife and the mother of your child back from a subatomic torture dimension is as good a reason as any to be an absentee father.
This is awesome. It's awesome. You know? You guys are breaking down walls. You're healing. I ruined the moment, didn't I?
Introspection. A succeeding to become Ant-Man training montage is the fastest way to make a new ant friend. Who knew running with the ants could be so much fun? Yes, they got one of the least expensive Avengers, but the presence of Falcon at the new Avengers HQ is one of the best tie-ins to the MCU in a solo film so far. And you've gotta love Scott's self-awareness about who he is and how he really just feels like some random guy, because he is, when Sam is an actual Avenger. Guys, seriously, Natasha is gonna sue you for intellectual property theft. Or fight choreography property theft?
Sorry about this.
Apology win.
Sorry.
Apology win.
Sorry. Sorry.
Apology win.
He's adding full body scanners to all entrances and closing exterior vents.
Gotta give Cross credit. Closing exterior vents isn't something even the Empire considered necessary.
Hank explained the science of the suit to them.
Even more proof that Hank really doesn't tell anyone how the suit actually works. You really think he's going to even come close to the actual science with these goons? Also, he says this.
But all I learned was we know nothing.
Yeah, the honest truth is I actually went from despising you to almost liking you.
You really should write poetry.
Showing appreciation. Think it's unrealistic that Luis could knock that guy out? Remember this?
Still the only one to knock him out.
He's talking about that guy. So this dude didn't even stand a chance. What's funny about this scene is that fire ants actually do this. And when they do, it looks more like CGI than this full CGI scene. They actually have an oxygen barrier around their bodies so none of them drown. I have no idea how it works, but go ahead and Google it. I'll say one thing for Cross. He's nailed the stare at you suspiciously as if I've figured out what's really going on look, which would come in handy as a supervillain. Eventually, someone is just going to spill the beans, even if you don't actually suspect them of anything.
He escapes his jail cell without leaving any clue as to how.
And as crazy as Cross is, I like that he pokes some big holes in Hank's plan. Hey, Hank's a physicist. No one ever said he would be a master strategist.
Wait. I have to be the one.
Life-sparing fake-out. Is that a 10 Rings neck tattoo? Does that mean the Mandarin or Killian are still around? Hey, good thing Cross had one of those special Glocks with an external hammer so the ants could stop it. So that's a win, right? Wait, no. Ant-Man running along the slide of a pistol. Such a win. And as tough as I'm sure it is to make Ant-Man's fighting techniques believable, they totally pull it off.
What is this?
A center for ants. The center has to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
We the good guys?
Yeah.
We're the good guys, right?
Making sure you're on the right side.
It's not a keychain.
And now we know for sure that Hank had to have been an Avenger.
damn it! That guy.
Saving the innocent. You had to go and do it. You had to make us feel emotion for an ant. Well, I'm taking a win off. Hey, what the? Yep. Now it's starting to feel like a superhero movie.
Claim disintegration by the cure.
Come on. Not only is this one of the best fight scenes inside a briefcase, but then you score the fight with Plain Song by The Cure? Not to mention, Disintegration came out in 1989, the same year Hank Pym told Howard Stark to shove it. And does anyone else get the feeling that Paul Rudd probably fought for this song?
It's okay.
Reassurance. Well, if he wasn't crazy before. Also, how good is Peter Russo at going nuts? I thought he was only good for Underwood fodder. You'd expect to be burnt out on tiny guys fighting by now, but then they throw the action on top of a high-speed train. Whatever. It's amazing and totally engaging. Still gets me.
I love you, Cassie.
Willingness to go subatomic to save your daughter. Losing an appendage empire style. And brutal. And this might be the coolest thing to happen in the MCU. Doctor Strange hasn't happened for me yet, so get off my back, future commenters. And that, my friends, is the Wasp, trapped in the quantum realm. And I may be the first one to notice her reflection on Scott's mask. At least the first to put it in a video. Love this blinking in and out of reality. Maybe through dimensions? To the microverse? And are these strings? Like string theory? Can someone ask Sheldon Cooper? And just for good measure, there she is on the way out. Hugging.
Is it possible?
Yes, Hank, it is. Especially given that they refuse to show Janet's face so they can cast her later. Love. And also Ant Girl shadowing? Another telephone game montage is the fastest way to get your Stan Lee cameo out of the way.
Well, we got everything nowadays. We got a guy who jumps, we got a guy who swings.
And is that the line that made Sony finally be willing to lend Spidey? If so, thanks Anna Akana. Or Edgar Wright. Joe Cornish? I don't know. There's like 18 writers in this film.
We were working on it for you.
Generosity. When we all saw the trailer for Ant-Man, we all collectively shrugged our shoulders and said, well, Marvel hasn't screwed up in a while, so it's about time. No way Paul Rudd can carry a film like Chris Pratt. And no way they can make this really silly character grounded in any sense of reality. And I'm sure some of you are still saying that. I just think you're wrong.
I'll just do like whatever's hot and fresh.
Dude.
The smartest thing they did was let Rudd play to his strengths while also letting him get shredded. Seriously, what's a full-time personal trainer cost? And Michael Pena was the comedy dark horse.
It's not too often that you rob a place and they get welcome back. Because we just robbed you.
Not that he's not usually a funny guy, but he stole the show in a lot of ways. And after Fury and End of Watch, he's really solidified himself as a ranged actor. Speaking of first impressions, my instinct when I saw T.I. was to roll my eyes and hope he didn't have too many lines. And he didn't, but he totally pulled out a great performance as a likable and helpful sidekick. Michael Douglas has still got it. The man can act, and he carries that Wall Street attitude even if that face only exists in the digital world. And he fits right in with the comedy veterans.
I want you to break into a place and steal some.
This movie managed to combine some amazing action and effects with probably its strongest feature, uproarious comedy.
Back it up. Okay? All you gonna do is we just back it up, okay? That's it. Back it up.
I mean, this movie might be one of the best comedies from 2015. And then it also had some real heart at the center of the story. Scott's reason for everything he does is just to be able to spend time with his daughter. Very relatable. Electrical engineering genius aside, Scott's one of the more normal guys the MCU has. And Paul Rudd is truly the perfect everyman right down to his awe of the Avengers when he meets Falcon. And even though they joke about the Avengers, this film seems to beg less for their involvement. It's more about the personal conflict between Cross and Pym. And Cross is a relatively unique villain. It's all about personal gain and accomplishment, not world conquest. And after the continent hopping in Age of Ultron, it's nice to have a hero based in one place. I already took a stab at defending the Pym Particle explanation, but if that doesn't work for you, hopefully you can realize that it's just movie science. And for the record, if you can accept that Iron Man can survive being knocked out of the sky by a tank shell and not turn to, well, this, inside his suit, you should be fine with the science behind the Pym Particle. Not sure what to do about the uncontrollable wind counter in this video, although he was right. The movie achieved something in making us feel for poor Anthony. And really, if a film can make me tear up over an ant, you know it did something right. And that's why Ant-Man goes down as one of the best MCU films in the system.
I'm in the system. In the system. The system?
Yeah, we're doomed.
What? Get out of there! It's too loud. There's a tank. I can't hear you.